Hi, I'm Letitia from Asiaville. 21 opposition parties have filed a petition to the Supreme Court seeking that the EVMs, electronic voting machines, to be used in the upcoming elections, that they should be tamper-proof. Now, the Supreme Court heard the matter today and has listed it for further hearing on March 25th. So, let's see the history and the instances where the EVM has come into question that has led to this point where 21 opposition parties have gone ahead and asked the Supreme Court to ensure that these machines are tamper-proof. So, the first instance we'll look at is the malfunctioning of EVMs and VVPAT machines. So, the voter verifiable paper audit trail VVPAT machine is a paper slip you get when you press vote, and it verifies that you have voted for a particular party by bringing out a paper that matches the symbol of the party that you've just voted for, but you can't take it home. So, if there's any need for verification, the VVPAT trail will be used to verify your vote. So, we don't even need to look very far. We just look back to the last big election we had, which is the 4 states, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Mizoram. And there were allegations of EVM malfunctioning even then. So, on the day of the polls for Madhya Pradesh on November 28th last year, the now Chief Minister Kamal Nath of Madhya Pradesh and the Congress chief of the state had asked the Election Commission on the day of polling to look into the instances of EVM and VVPAT malfunctioning after 100 complaints were received within the first hour of polling itself. Now, this is not the only case. In Ujjain, 2 faulty EVMs and 11 faulty VVPATs had to be replaced. So, that's a huge number, 11 VVPATs, the machines that are supposed to verify that you have made the vote and that the vote has gone to the right party. 11 of them and 2 EVMs were found to be faulty in just one place, which is Ujjain. So, when we look into the neighboring state, that is Chhattisgarh, in the capital itself in Raipur, there were instances of massive EVM malfunctioning in 72 constituencies within Raipur in itself. Now, in Sihawa's constituency, there was even a ruckus where people started creating trouble because there was a delay in voting for about an hour and a half because of EVM and VVPAT malfunctioning. So, besides technical malfunctions like this, we have also the instances where you look at suspicious handling of EVMs in themselves. Now, the Election Commission had admitted 2 days after that Madhya Pradesh had gone to polls, that is on November 30th last year, that an EVM strong room had suffered a power blackout and that there was no CCTV footage during that power blackout inside the strong room. So, the ECI, the Election Commission of India, had released a statement, and let's see what that statement had to say. A report obtained from the Bhopal collector states that CCTV cameras and an LED display installed outside the strong room did not function from 8:19 a.m. to 9:35 a.m. That's more than an hour on November 30th due to the failure of electricity supply. Because of this, the recording could not be done during the given time period. An additional LED screen, an inverter and a generator have been installed in order to ensure continuous electricity supply. So, as you can see, the Election Commission of India itself admitted that there had been a power outage and that to ensure that there is no further incidents, an inverter had been placed in that strong room. But that did raise serious questions about the handling of EVMs, which are very sensitive machines, because the vote of the people, the confidence of the people in free and fair elections depends on these machines. So, that's not the only incident that marred the last big election we had. 2 days after Madhya Pradesh went into polls, again on November 30th, a school bus with no license plate was found carrying EVMs and arrived at the district collector's office in Sagar district. And this school bus was supposed to arrive 2 hours after polling. It arrived 2 days later and it was carrying EVMs. So, the Congress National Treasurer, Mr. Ahmed Patel, had posted a video on Twitter showing the school bus and the EVMs that had been carrying God knows where for 2 days without any reports of where it had been. So let's take a look at that. So you can see there are multiple EVMs in this school bus that had no license plate, and this kicked up quite an uproar when it happened, and it led to serious doubts about the integrity of the election because the EVMs were being carried around without authorization. So now the next incident, which is also quite shocking, is that a day before polls, EVMs were found in a hotel room in the hotel that was owned by a BJP supporter in Shajapur a day before polling took place in Madhya Pradesh. Now, the Election Commission of India confirmed that poll officials had checked into a hotel room against the authorization of the ECI, and it did mention that these EVMs were backups. They were not EVMs to be used for the election unless they were needed as backups, and they confirmed that there was no evidence of tampering and that these machines were no longer used in the election. So as you can see, these instances of malfunctioning and suspicious incidents surrounding the handling of EVMs has led to a big question mark over how secure these machines can be when it comes to our democracy. So we'll now take a look at instances where people have claimed that they can tamper with EVMs. And this is not anything new. In 2010 itself, the University of Michigan had given a demonstration with an EVM, alleged EVM, showing that they could place a microprocessor inside it and then change the result. So they could tamper with the amount of votes that the EVM showed in the end. So you can maybe vote 100 times for one particular, say, party A, but this microchip could change it to show 50 votes for party A and 50 votes for party B. So this raised serious questions about the integrity of the entire process. But the biggest allegation came just January this year, when someone who claimed to be an employee of the Electronics Corporation of India Limited, and which is one of the public owned companies that makes EVMs, his name is Syed Shuja, he claimed that when he was with the EVM team, the team that built it, he could tamper with EVMs using apparently ultra low frequency signals that are military grade, and he then alleged that the BJP used these low frequency signals with the help of Geo India to rig the elections in 2014, the elections after that in Gujarat and Maharashtra, so on and so forth. And he also claimed the only reason the Delhi elections and the recent elections in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan did not have a BJP win is because he and his team had intercepted the signals and stopped any tampering from happening. Now, these are wild allegations. They're absolutely crazy. He also alleged that he could not come to this press conference that was held in London because he had been attacked over this, and that the people who had agreed to bring him an EVM so that he could demonstrate how it can be tampered had reneged on their promise and then compromised his location in the US, and therefore he had to do the entire interview on Skype. And he claimed that he had asylum in the US because of these allegations of tampering, and he was afraid for his life because he had colleagues killed. Like I said, these are serious allegations but also quite crazy, and in the end he could not demonstrate or provide any proof of anything, of tampering, of his political asylum status in the US, of any of the allegations he had made. There was no evidence, and he was branded as somebody who really was a hoax. So what is being done to ensure free and fair elections using EVMs? Well, the Election Commission of India has assured us that there will be 100% deployment of VVPAT machines to verify to keep a verified paper trail of the votes casted that will be cast in this election. It has also said that 5% of the EVMs out there will be tested randomly. That is, one EVM will be randomly picked out in a polling booth per constituency, per assembly segment, per parliamentary constituency, But the opposition parties that went to court today have gone against that and said, no, 5% is too small, it represents only 0.44% of the electorate. This exercise is futile, and really it's just something that's being done for show. So they want that 50% of EVMs in constituencies, in parliamentary constituencies and in the assembly segments be made verifiable with VVPATs. Only then will they be satisfied. And regarding the transportation of EVMs, well, they will be now tracked on GPS to ensure that they don't end up like the last lot in Madhya Pradesh that went in a school bus that had no number plates somewhere for 2 days and then appeared in the Sagar district collector's office 2 days later. And so until March 25th, we will have no real idea of what's going to happen to this, whether we will have more verified VVPAT trails or not. And but it looks like so far the Election Commission of India has done its best to ensure free and fair election, and that the pros and cons when it comes to paper ballots versus EVMs, even the former Election Commissioner of India, Mr. Y.S. Qureshi, has said that EVMs are here to stay. So it doesn't look like EVMs will be going anywhere anytime soon, and that this hearing will determine just how much we can verify what EVMs are doing versus whether EVMs will be used or not. So until March 25th, when the hearing comes, we'll have to just wait and see. Thank you.